Good evening, everyone. I am Isabella, and I am your Wednesday host for Planet Pathlings. And this week, my topic is Spirit Allies versus Spirit Guides. Are they the same thing, or are they different? And how we might begin to make contact with them if you are already in known contact with a spirit. First of all, I do believe that spirit allies and spirit guides are the same thing. Now, I believe that everyone has a particular spirit guide, that at least one, if not more, that are basically attached to you from the day that you come into this world. Some, I can't tell you how the contract is made. I can't tell you if you get together, some people say you get together and you make a pact, and this person, this guide, will run with you to the end of your days. Now that seems kind of logical based on my own personal relationship with my primary spirit guide. My primary spirit guide has been with me since I was extremely young, and although in the beginning I didn't understand that, I'm going to say she because she seems very feminine to me. She's always been there. She's always walked me through. She has shouted in my ear when I needed to do something different than what I was doing, and she did it as a form of protection for myself. Contact had always been there, but for the longest time I thought that she was everything from God to Jesus to my guardian angel to my spirit guide to, I ran the gamut. And looking back on it as a young child, because she was always there, I never thought to ask her name. I never thought to ask what she was and why she was there. But I did have the gift of being able to hear her. And I could distinguish her voice from the voice of my own mind. Now, occasionally, there are voices that I can hear in my head that actually use my own. There's no difference in the way the thought sounds to me. So like it's in my own voice. But the communication I know comes from the other side. Now, in the beginning, I thought it was just one spirit guide. I do have one named spirit guide. But through the years, I have learned that there are others that have always been there as well. They communicate with me slightly different than my main spirit guide. But nonetheless, they have, again, as I look back, I can realize it was not just one spirit guide that I was really communicating with, but several. Can't tell you how many. And my thoughts on the whole process of this is that there are certain guides that we have that are our primaries. A lot of people will call them the guardian angels. A lot of people will call them, the spirit guide, spirit ally. And when I say that these spirit guides. I believe that our power animals, our totems, our spirit animals fall into these same guides, basically. But they're a different kind of grouping. Their purpose is a slightly different purpose. And so I believe that we have whole teams of these guides that work with us. Some are ancestral, some are our power animals, and some are the guardians, and some are there for higher learning. They can help us through specific issues. They can unlock specific information and knowledge in us when we're prepared to receive it. They are connected to us as well, but they are connected through the main spirit guide. Oftentimes the spirit guide, since they tend to be bridges for us from this world, this reality, to the other reality, the outer world, the spiritual world. They they walk with us to help us work on that other side, and they are sort of the middleman on bringing us in contact with the ones that we need to fulfill whatever part of our journey that we're on at that time. And I do believe that also entails bringing in deity to us as well. They will bring in the deities that, one, you will accept and acknowledge, two, the one that fits the psychological realm of what you need to be working to move to the next step. Now, some people only work with, say, the divine feminine and divine masculine. Some people work with a very specific deity set, and they only work with that deity set. I think your spirit guides know what your particular mind's makeup is, to where they know how to bring in whatever it is that you need to learn that next growth cycle, that next thing that you're on, wherever you are in your path, that next way to move past it. So it doesn't matter whether you have one deity or you have whoever comes into you. I accept all deity that comes into me, and I realize that I've pretty much put out the call, and my spirit guide brings the one in that I need. And working with that deity is how I work with the issues that I'm dealing with, and I learn to navigate them, and I learn to come out on the other side of them. There are, again, deity that walks with you, I think, all of your life, and then there are some that come and go to help you. But because the pantheons are, there's so many ways to work the psychological factors that run through the human subconscious mind and the conscious mind, that deity will present itself in a way that you can recognize it. So I don't think that it's wrong to have deity that is mixed pantheon. I don't believe it's wrong to stick with one pantheon. I don't believe it's wrong to stick with one a monotheistic way. I think we all learn differently, and the system basically is set up to work with your own special, unique thing. So these spirit guides know you inside and out, and they are very aware of where you need to go, what your potential is, where you are, in your growth cycle, and what you might need to come in contact with, or what guidance you need to navigate what you're doing in any given moment. So, since I was lucky enough to, one of my special gifts, and I believe we all have special gifts, just like I believe that we all have these spirit guides. My special gift was be able to actually hear my spirit guide talk. Now, that meant that my spirit guides had to lower their vibration enough for me to be able to hear it, and I had to kind of naturally be in tune at some point, a higher vibration to where I kind of met in the middle, to where I could pick up and receive. My antenna was kind of tuned into it. Now, it is not the only way I receive messages. It's one of the ways I receive messages. And I am clairaudient. I also am clairvoyant, and I'm clairsentient, and I pick up on emotion very well. I can feel certain things as well. So we all have our own unique gifts, and if you do not have the unique gift of being able to hear naturally your spirit guide talk to you, and sometimes I think you're hearing them, you just don't realize it's not the voice in your own head working, but actually the spirit guide coming through, and you just don't recognize it as another. You can't separate it from your own mind. It's sometimes very hard at first and I can see some of my more subtle guides I don't realize that I am in communication with. So there are several ways that I have developed opening up even more channels and deeper levels of hearing and understanding what my spirit guides are trying to communicate and tell me. And the first thing that I would like to suggest to anybody who wants to know their spirit guide, wants to make a deeper contact with them, wants to know things like what their name is, I would use, and I can't find the book that's associated with this, but it is, Spirit Guide Meditation, and it's Sylvia Brown, and it comes with a book, and the book is Contacting Your Spirit Guide, and this is the CD that's found inside the book as well. And it is a spirit guide meditation that I've used many times with quite a few people, and every single person that I have ran them through this meditation, including myself, I've not only met with their spirit guide, but generally found out some vital information. It opened pathways and communication that was more direct for the person. In the Spirit Guide meditation, Sylvia Brown will walk you through meeting the Spirit Guide and asking the Spirit Guide's name and quite a few other little things. And then the spirit guide takes you through a series of rooms in a temple. And in this place, you get to, everyone's experience will be different. It's a great meditation, and this meditation tool doesn't have to be Sylvia Browne's. I'm sure many other guided meditations out there will do the same thing, will work just as well. I love guided meditations for contact, and the only thing is that some people can't get themselves into that totally relaxed state in the guided meditation. So what I did to deepen my ability to go down into my trance-like state was that I also years ago started doing yoga. And in the yoga practice, they do the last 15 minutes is going into a guided meditation, basically. And you learn to relax each part of your body, and you start getting all this control over it. And when you do that, it helps lend to a better guided meditation for any kind of guided meditation that you do from that point on. It's just the techniques that I used. There are probably many, many others. And if I can't settle down to get myself into a receptive state, I will do yoga before I do my guided meditation. Now, yoga isn't the important part. You could walk, you could do any other kind of exercise. Something that can physically tire you out may work just as well, although I do believe that yoga centers you into turning inward and really developing that mind and body connection. And basically it's working mind, body, and soul connection. And so yoga tends to be probably the best type exercise that you could be doing before going into these guided meditations. They also, the very actions and movements of yoga tend to hit and open up Kundalini and open up your chakras, which include your crown chakra, which when it is open, you are much more receptive from messages from the other side. And it's all about getting yourself the most receptive as you can be before you start these meditations, and they can really change your spiritual world, basically. And totally remove doubt that you might have about the other side as well too. Now, there are other books, and I have a few here to kind of show you that there are many different ways to work to grow your ability to make contact. This book is by Ted Andrews. Most people know him as the author of the animal wisdom books and stuff like that, where he's teaching you about your totem animals, power animals. But this one is Meet and Work with Your Spirit Guides. This one is by Ruth White, and it is Working with Spirit Guides. This one right here is not just even working with spirit guides, but actually opening to channel. And the opening to channel is how to connect with your guide, but really to channel a whole lot of messages through the guide. And this book is by, hang on, I've got to put my glasses on for this. Senyana Roman and Diane Packer is opening channels, how to connect with your guides. And then there is this book right here, which I also is another book that comes with a CD, and the CD would be in the back of the book. This one is a Native American one with a lot of drumming, a lot of their whistles, rattles, and drums, and it has 3 main meditations to take you to the 3 basic worlds, and these are to meet your power animals, basically, a power animal guide, totem, whatever you want to call it. This one takes you in on that journey. Now, when I met my power animals, I knew that my power animals had walked with me since I was really young, but I always really doubted myself as to really if that was my power animal or if I just really loved, the big cats. But I went into a guided meditation that was led by a friend of mine named Sally, and she is a psychic that I had the pleasure of meeting here many years ago. And she would hold group sessions, and one of the things that she would do is she had a guided meditation to take you to meet your power animals. And so that was my first confirmation that the cat that had always walked beside me was still, it was what showed up in that guided meditation. So I can't say enough about guided meditations and how they work to really help you, because you basically let the subconscious be unlocked and let it tell you the information that it's always had. Napoleon Hill also, from the book Think and Grow Rich. Now, he had a method inside this book. It was called the Invisible Counselors. And the Invisible Counselors was a round table that basically, when you were having any kind of, let's put it this way, you can put anybody that has passed in your round table. And basically, you're going to do your own meditation, and you are going to meet with the people that you choose to be at your round table. These can be anyone that's passed. It can be a relative. If you have, say you have you want to be a writer, and you've got a block, and you really need some advice. Maybe it's your favorite author that has passed. Maybe it is a great speechwriter. Maybe it is a great politician. Maybe it is a great thinker, like maybe it's Gandhi. Maybe it's Mother Teresa. Maybe it's it can be anyone. And you have the invisible counselors at your round table. And at first, it might be contrived, but eventually you will slip into the mode, into that trance-like state, and you will start receiving messages from the other side. And it is an exercise that you can do on a regular basis. The more you do it, the more open you are, and the more receptive the other side is to helping you too, knowing that you're serious about meeting or wanting to basically have conversation with people who will open your world up, basically. Those are not necessarily your spirit guides, but they are people from the other side that are assisting you in your journey. So there are other things that you can do, which are things like tapping into your psychic abilities. So books on giving you tips, exercises on how to start working with your intuition, working with different psychic abilities, and basically there are a lot of exercises that you can do to actually become better at opening it up, because we're all psychic beings. We just have to exercise that muscle. And these exercises tend to be able to open you up more and more. And once you unlock one gift, one main psychic gift, it seems like all of the gifts are just waiting there, opening up one after another, kind of like a flowering bush. Once one bud actually opens up, it seems to set off a cascade of more and more abilities that open up to you. Another one is Sonia Coquette's The Psychic Pathway, where she was naturally gifted, but this whole book is nothing but psychic exercises to expand your horizons in those realms, and also learning to trust your own intuition as well is a big part of it. Then there's another one that is worth mentioning too, because you can use different tools to do these things. This one, Follow Your Path, is basically taking the major arcana of the tarot and taking you on the Fool's journey through a series of exercises and semi-meditations, but basically it's inspiring you using myths, symbols, and images to explore your inner life. And these two unlock a lot of your latent abilities that are just laying there waiting for you to come and unlock them. So there's lots of ways to start learning to do these things. I think the guided meditations are my favorite, and if you are fortunate enough to have someone who is very gifted in guided meditations near you, I would jump on it to go to these guided meditations. But at the same time, these CDs are extremely valuable to you. The only thing I didn't like about Sylvia Browne is that Sylvia Browne's voice is very rough. There are a lot of people who do guided meditations that have very beautiful and soothing voices, and I do believe that lends to the experience. But Sylvia Browne was so effective that really the voice, it did not matter. It didn't matter. It was, like I said, I had already made contact with my spirit guides so many years. I was like 3 or 4. But every single person, and I have done it for over 12 people now, and every single one of them has met their spirit guides. Only about 3 out of that 12 did not get a name on the first time. Most of them got the name, Most of them also picked up other information and were given other information in that meditation. So it made it a very productive first conscious encounter with their spirit guide. So I just highly recommend doing things like that. If you're really interested in working with your spirit guide and truly want to be able to start to hear your spirit guide, those meditations will get you very familiar with the voice that they're going to be speaking into you, and you will learn to tune into that. And then you're going to find out that they were there all along. They never leave your side. They're walking with you, and all you have to do is holler about anything. I talk to my spirit guides just like they're a best friend sitting in the room with me, and so many times do I get just like if I was talking to a friend when giving me that sage advice. So I hope that y'all find some of these. I didn't look online to see if you could just like download them, or I found most of my half price books, and I've collected quite a few over the years. I've been doing this for a long time, so I've collected these kind of books for a while now, and these CDs and stuff. But I know that they're readily available, and half price books is not all that expensive, but it is worth the investment. I don't think I paid more than $8 for the Sylvia Brown book, and so I just hope y'all give that a try, and I will catch y'all next week. Thanks. Bye.